The version of you that survives the next decade is currently trapped beneath the weight of people you are trying to rescue. Most people believe that saving a sinking ship is an act of nobility. They are wrong. In the harsh reality of human nature, dragging a drowning person to shore usually results in two people going under. You believe your empathy is a shield, but to the predators and the parasites, it is an invitation. This is not an invitation to a sanctuary. It is a breakdown of your own defenses. You cannot negotiate with a black hole, and you cannot cure a plague by infecting yourself. Survival requires a cold, calculated inventory of who you allow in your circle. This is not a lecture on how to be a better person. It is a surgical extraction of the liabilities currently draining your life. To understand the gravity of who you are harboring, we must look to the architect of political survival, Niccolò Machiavelli. He understood that power and peace are not maintained by good intentions, but by the strategic management of human variables. Your life is a fortress. Every time you attempt to salvage a broken, toxic individual, you leave the gates wide open for your own ruin. The people you are trying to save are not victims of circumstance. They are the architects of their own chaos, and they will gladly use your foundation to rebuild their burning empires. Phase 1. The Chronic Martyr. The chronic martyr is an individual who weaponizes their own suffering to control the room. They do not want solutions, they want an audience for their tragedy. Machiavelli observed that leaders who rely on the pity of others inevitably fall, because pity is a volatile, expiring currency. The average person sees a martyr and offers a helping hand, only to be dragged into the mud of their endless crises. The disciplined person sees a martyr and recognizes a black hole. The psychological payoff of cutting them loose is immediate. You reclaim your emotional autonomy. You stop lighting yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. Your micro-tactic today? The next time this person presents an endless loop of misery, offer exactly one logical solution, then walk away. If they reject it, their suffering is no longer your business. Phase 2. The Chameleon. The chameleon shifts their loyalty, their values, and their personality based entirely on who holds the power in the room. They are the ultimate practitioners of what modern psychology calls high self-monitoring, but stripped of any moral compass. Machiavelli warned extensively against mercenaries, those who fight for you only when the sun is shining, but desert you the moment the battle turns bloody. The average person mistakes their adaptability for compatibility. The dangerous person sees through the mask and recognizes a spy in their midst. Comment strategy if you are ready to stop misplacing your loyalty on those who possess none. By removing the chameleon, you secure your perimeter. Your micro-tactic today? Test them. Share a harmless, fabricated piece of confidential information with them and watch how quickly it travels. When it leaks, you have your answer. Phase 3. The Architect of Chaos. Some people do not carry drama, they manufacture it. The Architect of Chaos thrives on friction because in a stable environment, their lack of value becomes painfully obvious. They exploit the psychological phenomenon of emotional contagion, infecting your peaceful environment with their manufactured emergencies. Machiavelli noted that a wise ruler never allows internal discord to fester, as it prepares the ground for total defeat. The average person steps in to mediate the chaos, becoming a character in the play. The aware person refuses to enter the theater entirely. The payoff here is the restoration of your cognitive clarity. You cannot build a legacy when you're constantly putting out fires you didn't start. Your micro-tactic today? Adopt a policy of absolute non-engagement. When they bring chaos to your door, respond with absolute silence or a flat, unbothered "I see." Watch how quickly they look for another stage. Phase 4. The Entitled Debtor. The entitled debtor believes the world owes them everything, and because you have built something stable, you owe them a piece of it. They view your success not as a result of discipline, but as an unfair advantage you must compensate them for.
This aligns with a distorted form of equity theory, where they attempt to balance the scales by taking from you without ever contributing. Machiavelli argued that benefits should be granted sparingly because when you stop giving, hatred immediately follows. The average person gives out of guilt, hoping to satisfy the hunger. The disciplined person knows this hunger is bottomless. When you stop saving the debtor, you protect the fruits of your labor from being consumed by those who never planted the seeds. Your micro-tactic today? Implement a hard, zero-exception boundary on your resources, whether it's your time, your money, or your expertise. Say no without offering an explanation. Phase 5, the closet saboteur. The closet saboteur is the friend who smiles at your promotion while quietly praying for your downfall. They suffer from severe social comparison bias, measuring their worth entirely by your failures. Machiavelli famously wrote that men harm you either out of fear or out of hatred. The saboteur harms you out of a bitter cocktail of both. The average person ignores the subtle passive-aggressive remarks and the faint praise, chalking it up to a bad day. The dangerous person listens to the subtext. By cutting off the saboteur, you remove the hidden fractures in your fortress walls before they crumble under pressure. Your micro-tactic today? Celebrate a major victory in front of them and watch their micro-expressions. If their eyes narrow before their mouth smiles, downgrade their access to your life immediately. Phase 6, the unteachable critic. The unteachable critic has an opinion on your execution, but has never stepped into the arena themselves. They suffer from the Dunning-Kruger effect at a pathological level, believing their lack of skin in the game qualifies them to judge your wounds. Machiavelli warned that rulers must protect themselves from flatterers and critics alike by only allowing a select few wise men to speak the truth, and only when asked. The average person spends hours debating with the critic, trying to prove their worth. The aware person remembers that pigs love the mud, and you only get dirty trying to wrestle them. The payoff of discarding the critic is the return of your focus. Your micro-tactic today? The next time they offer unsolicited criticism, look them dead in the eye and ask, "What have you built that gives you the authority to analyze my foundation?" Then move on before they can answer. If you implement these rules, you will notice a sudden, violent shift in your environment. The crowd around you will thin out. The noise will die down. You will be left standing in a quiet room, but for the first time, the foundation beneath your feet will be solid. You transform from a frantic rescue boat into an unshakable fortress. You become the rare outlier, the person who realizes that true power is not about how many people you can carry, but how much dead weight you are willing to cut loose. Comment, "I choose the fortress," if you are ready to execute this audit. Subscribe and turn on notifications to ensure your defenses remain impenetrable. Remember, you cannot build a kingdom using the stones of a collapsing wall. Cut the ties, secure your gates, and let the dead weight sink.